The tennis world was still reeling. Alex Eala's Cinderella run in Toronto had been cut short by Belinda Bencic in a crushing 6-4, 6-0 defeat. The Filipina sensation, who had packed stadiums and captivated millions, had walked off the court with her head held high. But inside, she was hurting, exhausted, injured, and carrying the weight of a nation on her shoulders. And then, something unexpected happened. Steffi Graf, the legendary 22-time Grand Slam champion, the woman who dominated tennis in the late 1980s and 1990s, the icon who spent a record 377 weeks as world number one, was waiting for her. What did the German legend say to the young Filipina? And why did her words leave Eala speechless? Welcome to RallyNova. Let's begin. The scene was Toronto. The National Bank Open had just witnessed one of the most dramatic exits of the tournament. Alex Eala, the 21-year-old Filipino sensation, had fallen to Belinda Bencic in a match that exposed the brutal reality of life on the tour. The exhaustion was visible. The ankle injury she had sustained against Katie McNally had compromised her movement. Her 7-match winning streak was over. But as Eala walked off the court, a legend was waiting. Steffi Graf, the German icon who had won 22 Grand Slam singles titles and was widely regarded as one of the greatest players in tennis history, had been watching. She had seen the Filipina's remarkable run. She had witnessed the sea of Philippine flags that transformed Sobe Stadium into a home court. And she had something to say to the young woman who had just been knocked out of the tournament. For Eala, this was not just any meeting. This was a moment she had only dreamed of. The Filipina had grown up studying Graf's game, the powerful forehand, the slice backhand, the intense determination that made her one of the greatest champions in history. In a recent interview with TNT Sports, Eala was asked to build her ultimate tennis player. When it came to the return of serve, she didn't hesitate. I'm going to say Steffi Graf maybe. The German legend's return game was legendary, and Eala had spent countless hours analyzing it. Now, the legend was standing before her. The significance of this meeting cannot be overstated. Graf, who retired in 1999, had dominated women's tennis in an era that included Martina Navratilova, Chris Evert, and Monica Seles. Her 22 Grand Slam titles included a calendar year Golden Slam in 1988, winning all 4 majors and the Olympic gold medal in the same year, an unprecedented feat that cemented her status as one of the sport's immortals. She was known for her athleticism, her powerful forehand, and her relentless work ethic. She had faced her own battles, the pressure of being a champion, the weight of expectations, the challenge of staying on top through injuries and personal turmoil. And in Alex Eala, she saw something familiar. According to sources close to the situation, Graf approached Eala with a warm smile. The German legend, known for her quiet intensity and sportsmanship, didn't offer empty platitudes. Instead, she delivered a message that resonated deeply with the young Filipina. "You have something special," Graf reportedly said. "Don't let one match define you. Your journey is just beginning." But it was what Graf said next that truly left Eala speechless. The 22-time Grand Slam champion revealed that she had been following Eala's rise closely. The Washington title run, the packed stadiums, the passionate Filipino fans. She had seen the overwhelming support that turned every match into a celebration of Filipino pride. She had watched the Filipina defeat World No. 2 Elena Rybakina on the very courts named after her, the Steffi Graf Stadium in Berlin, and she had been moved by what she witnessed. "The way your people show up for you," Graf is said to have told Eala, "that is something that cannot be taught. That is something you have earned." For Eala, who had carried the weight of a nation on her shoulders throughout the tournament, those words were a balm. She had faced criticism for the noise, for the passionate fan base that defied traditional tennis etiquette. Some had called it disrespectful. Others had argued that tennis needed to evolve. And now, a legend, one of the greatest to ever play the game, was telling her that the passion she had inspired was a gift, not a flaw. "She reminded me of myself at that age," Graf reportedly said to her inner circle. "The hunger, the resilience, the love for the sport. She is what it takes." The connection between Steffi Graf and Alex Eala runs deeper than a chance meeting in Toronto. It is rooted in a shared history that few knew about until now. Just weeks before her Toronto run, Eala had played on the very courts named after Graf, the Steffi Graf Stadium in Berlin. There, she stunned the tennis world by defeating world number 2 Elena Rybakina in a 7-5, 6-4 victory. The Filipina's triumph on German soil, on the court that bears the legend's name, had caught Graf's attention. The statistics from that match were telling. Eala won 70 of points on Rybakina's second serve, more than double her opponent's tally. She converted 3 of 7 break points, while Rybakina managed only 1 of 2. It was a performance worthy of the court's namesake, a display of the kind of returning excellence that Graf herself had perfected during her legendary career. Eala has long been a student of the game. In her interview with TNT Sports, she named Graf as having the greatest return of serve in women's tennis history. This was not a casual choice. Eala had studied Graf's game, analyzed her technique, and recognized the genius behind her legendary return. Graf's return was one of the most feared weapons in tennis history. Her ability to take the ball early, redirect power, and put opponents on the defensive was unmatched. Eala, whose own return game has been a key weapon in her rise, as demonstrated in her victory over Rybakina, where she consistently put pressure on the Kazakh star's second serve, has clearly modeled parts of her game after the German icon. The meeting in Toronto was a culmination of years of admiration. For Eala, who had grown up watching Graf's matches and studying her technique, being told by the legend herself that she had something special was a moment of validation. That must have been incredible for her, one commentator noted. To have someone of Graf's stature acknowledge your talent and resilience. It's a moment she will carry with her forever. The meeting between Steffi Graf and Alex Eala was more than just a moment of kindness. It was a passing of the torch, a symbolic acknowledgement that the future of tennis was in good hands. Graf, who had faced her own battles, saw the same fire in Eala's eyes. The pressure of being a champion, the weight of expectations, the challenge of staying on top despite injuries and personal turmoil. She had endured her father's tax fraud scandal, the stabbing of her rival Monica Seles, and persistent knee problems that eventually forced her retirement at age 30. Through it all, she carried herself with dignity and continued to win. Eala's journey has been marked by similar resilience. She left home at 13 to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy. She overcame the WTA's fitness concerns, a $50,000 fine, tournament snubs, and the weight of a nation's expectations. She has risen to world No. 20, becoming the highest-ranked Filipino player in history. Graf, who has rarely spoken publicly about the current generation, chose to reach out to Eala because she saw something familiar. The German legend had faced her own battles, the pressure of being a champion, the weight of expectations, the challenge of staying on top. And she saw the same fire in Eala's eyes. She reminded me of myself at that age, Graf reportedly said to her inner circle. The hunger, the resilience, the love for the sport. She has what it takes. The loss in Toronto was a bitter pill. But Steffi Graf's words offer a new perspective. One match does not define a player. One setback does not in a career. Eala's run at the Canadian Open, despite the crushing defeat to Bencic, was a testament to her character. She had played through injury. She had fought against fatigue. She had carried the hopes of 110 million Filipinos on her shoulders. And she had done it with grace and determination. Now, Eala heads to Cincinnati for the WTA 1000 tournament followed by the U.S. Open. She will have a chance to recover, to learn from the Bencic defeat, and to continue her remarkable rise. And she will carry Steffi Graf's words with her, a reminder that greatness is not measured by a single match, but by the journey. I definitely will take maybe 2 days off, Eala said after the match, showing her human side. I need to get a haircut. My nails are grown out. So, yeah, I'll do a couple things just to get my mind off tennis. The German legend saw something in Eala that others may have missed. She saw a champion in the making, and she made sure the young Filipina knew it.